Okay, so imagine this. You're living your life, everything seems normal, but then the very bedrock of science just starts to crumble. Physicists, brilliant ones, start saying things like, physics has never existed.
Yeah, and then on top of that, this countdown starts appearing. Only you can see it. It follows you everywhere.
Exactly. It's not just like reality breaking down randomly.
Hmm.
This feels engineered,
Yeah.
like an attack.
And that's what we're diving into today. We've got some fascinating sources, bits from a sci-fi novel, character lists, even author's notes. We're going to try and piece together this huge, complex mystery.
It really spans everything, doesn't it? Decades of history, light years of space.
Right. It's about humanity's first contact, which is shocking enough, but also about how divided we become right here on Earth.
So we'll be digging into how personal trauma, like really deep trauma, and big historical events can lead to, well, betrayal on a massive scale, how science gets weaponized.
And the crazy strategies people come up with when, facing the end of the world, basically, an existential threat.
So what does it all mean? What can we maybe learn from a story where it feels like the universe itself is playing some kind of dangerous game with us? All right, let's get into it. We should probably start with Yi Wanji. Her story really kicks things off, doesn't it? Back in China, 1967.
Yeah, the so-called madness years of the Cultural Revolution. She's an astrophysicist, and her life gets completely derailed by one of these horrific struggle sessions at Tsinghua University, no less.
And it's her father, Professor Yi Zetai, who's targeted.
Yes. Publicly denounced, beaten,
Yeah.
brutally beaten to death. And his crime, defending concepts like relativity and the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics.
Which is, that's the idea that observing something changes it at the quantum level, right?
Basically, yeah. It's a cornerstone of quantum physics, but back then...
Well, the Red Guards had this idea that philosophy should guide experiments, not the other way around.
So it was a clash of ideology versus empirical evidence, and the source material is pretty graphic about it, isn't it? The description of his blood. Oh, it's chilling. Like a red snake, it slowly meandered across the stage. It paints this incredibly stark picture, and the text explicitly says this trauma dissolved into her blood, stayed with her forever.
You really have to wonder, when you witness something like that, that level of violence and intellectual suppression, how does it change you?
Yeah.
Your view of humanity itself.
It plants a deep, deep seed of disillusionment. No question.
And things don't really get better for her immediately, do they? After her father's death, she gets falsely accused herself.
Right, by this guy, by Mullen. And the irony is he reported her because she was inspired by Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, the environmental book.
Wow. So defending science gets her father killed, and being inspired by environmentalism gets her accused.
It's just one blow after another. She ends up rusticated, sent to Inner Mongolia, and there she sees this other kind of madness, deforestation on a massive scale.
The sources mention hundreds of chainsaws, like a swarm of steel locusts.
Exactly, turning forests into barren land. So you add environmental destruction to the political brutality she's already witnessed. You can see how someone might start to feel like humanity is just inherently self-destructive.
Where do you even go from there? It seems almost hopeless.
Well, her path takes another turn. She gets recruited, maybe surprisingly, to this place called Red Coast Base. Super secret, heavily guarded military installation.
Okay. So an escape, maybe?
Sort of. She starts in the transmission department, but she notices something odd. A lot of the skilled people there are kind of hiding their abilities, trying not to get stuck out there permanently.
So she stands out.
She does. Her intellect is obvious, and circumstances just push her into becoming a key technician. And that's when she finds out what Red Coast is really about.
Which is?
It's a SETI project. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence. They're beaming powerful radio messages out into space. But then she makes an even bigger discovery.
Bigger than finding aliens.
Well, enabling the search in a huge way. She figures out that the sun, our sun, can act as a massive natural amplifier for radio waves.
Wait, how? Like a lens?
Sort of, yeah. The sources talk about energy mirrors and gain reflectivity. Basically, the sun can catch a signal and then retransmit it, massively boosted, across interstellar distances. It's like nature provided the ultimate signal booster.
That's incredible. And this is where her personal despair comes back in.
Absolutely. She's looking at humanity, the Cold War, the nuclear threat, the environmental destruction, her own trauma, and she sees Insanity. So against all rules, she uses this solar amplifier. She sends her own message to an alien civilization they detected.
And she gets a reply.
She gets a reply. This is the pivotal moment, her betrayal, if you want to call it that. But it's born directly from that feeling that, the universe can't be empty. Maybe something out there is better than what's down here.
That single act.
Yeah.
It's staggering to think about the consequences. One person's pain echoing across the cosmos.
It really sets everything else in motion. The consequences just ripple outwards across decades.
Which brings us crashing into the present day. And things are not good.
Not good at all. We start with this wave of suicides among top physicists, really brilliant minds, and one of them is Young Dong.
Who turns out to be Yuwenji's daughter.
Exactly, and her suicide note is just devastating. It says, "Physics has never existed and will never exist."
I mean, what does that even mean? How could physics not exist?
That's the terrifying question, isn't it? What could possibly lead someone like her, a brilliant physicist, to that conclusion? It sends shockwaves through the entire scientific community.
So the authorities get involved.
Yeah, a figure named General Chang recognizes this as serious. He pulls in Wang Miao, who's a nanomaterials researcher, and Wang gets paired up with this detective, Shi Chang.
Shi. The street smart cop.
Right. It's an odd couple, isn't it? A nanotech guy and a detective. But it tells you this problem isn't just science. It's something else. Something bigger.
And Wang Miao starts experiencing strange things himself almost immediately.
He does. He starts seeing this countdown floating in his vision, numbers ticking down like 1187 Tampa 119.06.
Superimposed on reality.
Everywhere he looks. Even, like you said, if he puts the lens cap on his camera, it's in his vision. It's terrifying.
And people around him know something's up.
He talks to Shen Yufei, this Japanese physicist involved with a group called the Frontiers of Science. They explore the limits of science, basically, and she just tells him, cryptically, just stop your research.
Stop his nanomaterials work. Why?
It's not clear yet, but it adds to the feeling that this is targeted, that something doesn't want him, or maybe science in general, to progress.
Then comes the billiard balls.
Ah, yes. The conversation with Ding Yi, he was Yang Dong's boyfriend, another theoretical physicist, and he does this demonstration for Wang.
With billiard balls. How does that explain anything?
Well, he sets up an experiment, a very precise one, and shows that the results aren't consistent. The way the balls react isn't predictable in the way physics says it should be. He essentially demonstrates that the laws of physics are not invariant across time and space.
Meaning, the rules can change. Gravity might not work the same way tomorrow.
Exactly. The fundamental constants might not be constant, which is a horrifying thought for any scientist. It gives a concrete, terrifying basis for Yang Dong's last words. The very foundation is shaky.
Okay, that would break your brain.
Yeah.
So Wang needs answers about this countdown he's seeing.
Right. He turns to cosmology. He goes with an astronomer, Xiaoru Shan, to observe the cosmic microwave background radiation, the CMB, the afterglow of the Big Bang.
Using special equipment.
Yeah, these 3K glasses. And what he sees is just unbelievable. The entire universe appears to be flickering, not randomly, but in a pattern.
A pattern.
Like the whole universe is sending a Morse code message, and it confirms the countdown is real, it's external, and it's somehow being broadcast by the universe itself.
I can't even imagine seeing that. How does he react?
It breaks him, basically. The sources say he just weeps, feels like the universe shrank until only he was imprisoned in it. It's profound existential terror.
But then Dashi steps in. The detective.
Yeah, good old Dashi. He kind of grounds everything. He has this ultimate rule. Anything sufficiently weird must be fishy. He basically says, look, this isn't magic. It's not supernatural. It's got to be people.
A conspiracy.
A massive, sophisticated conspiracy designed to make scientists doubt everything, to ruin science's reputation. He even jokes that being a cop dealing with criminals makes him more likely to spot a huge conspiracy than the scientists themselves.
It's that outside perspective again, seeing the con instead of the cosmic horror.
Exactly. But then General Chang adds another layer of dread. He tells Wang, essentially, humanity's lucky streak is over. From the Stone Age till now, no real crisis has occurred. It's ended. Prepare for the worst.
So it is real. It's not just a conspiracy to look like a crisis. It is the crisis.
That's the chilling implication.
Okay, so science is falling apart. The universe is flickering. There's a countdown. Wang Miao needs more clues. And he finds them in a video game.
Yeah, this VR game called Three Body. He logs in as Copernicus. And it's not just any game. It depicts this alien world that is just brutal.
Brutal how?
It orbits 3 suns. unpredictably. So they have stable eras, which are rare, and chaotic eras where everything goes haywire. Suns might rise and set randomly, or multiple suns might appear, turning the surface into a smelting furnace.
How do they survive that?
They have this biological mechanism where they can dehydrate themselves, turn into dried husks, basically, to wait out the chaotic eras. Then they get rehydrated when things stabilize. Survival is the only goal.
And the game shows their history.
Yeah, trying to figure out the pattern of the suns. You see figures like King Wen of Zhou using the Iron Ching, trying to predict it. You even see this incredible attempt to build a human computer using millions of soldiers as processing
A
units.
human compute, like literally people doing calculations.
30 million soldiers under the Qin 1.0 operating system, flipping flags to represent bits. It shows the sheer desperation and ingenuity needed to understand their impossible solar system.
And this ties back to people Wang knows in the real world.
It does. We find out about Wei Cheng, who is Shen Yufei's husband, remember, the physicist who told Wang to stop his research. Wei Cheng is this math genius who developed an algorithm to try and solve the actual three-body problem in physics, which is famously unsolvable mathematically.
The problem of predicting the motion of three celestial bodies orbiting each other?
Exactly. The very problem plaguing the planet in the game. And Wei Cheng needed huge computing power for his algorithm. We also learn that Shen Yufei prays, saying things like, "Buddha, please help my lord break away from the sea of misery."
Her lord, referring to the inhabitants of the game world, Trisolaris.
It seems so. It hints that the game isn't just a game, and her involvement is almost religious. It's a way to understand, maybe even help, the Lord the Trisolorans.
So the game is basically revealing the history of the aliens who are causing the current crisis on Earth.
Precisely. As Wang gets deeper, the game reveals the full truth. The planet Trisolaris has gone through hundreds of cycles of destruction and rebirth. They even mention a great rip, where tidal forces tore their world apart. Their suns are described as breathing, expanding, and consuming planets. Trisolaris is the last one standing after a great hunt.
Existence sounds like pure hell for them.
Unending catastrophe. So, faced with the certainty that their world will eventually be destroyed by their suns, they make a decision
Khalif.
to find a new home. They detect Earth's stable orbit, single sun, paradise compared to Trisolaris. It's 4 light years away. So they launch a massive fleet.
An invasion fleet.
Yes. But space is big. Even with advanced propulsion, antimatter drives, the journey will take them 4.5 centuries.
450 years, that's a long
A
time.
very long time. Which becomes crucial, but remember Yi Wenji's message and the response.
Yeah, the first contact.
We learn more about the specific Trisolarian who responded, the listener. And his motivation wasn't just, hey, new neighbors. He was actually trying to warn Earth.
Warn us. Why?
He was disillusioned with his own society. He saw it as spiritually dead, monotonous, lacking art, beauty, joy, all the things he imagined Earth might have. He didn't want Trisolaris to conquer and extinguish that. He was a pacifist, a betrayer from their perspective.
Wow, so even among the aliens there's dissent, a desire to protect beauty.
It adds this incredible layer of complexity. But his warning, ironically, is what confirms Earth as a viable target for the main Trisolarian government.
And back on Earth, not everyone is preparing to fight, are they? This ETO group.
The Earth Trisolaris movement. Yeah, this is maybe the most shocking part. It's made up of humans, mostly intellectuals, spiritual nobles, who have completely lost faith in humanity. They want the Trisolarians to come.
They want humanity wiped out.
Some of them do. There are factions. The Adventists, led by a guy named Mike Evans, who was actually inspired by Yi Wenji's original story of despair, they genuinely believe humanity is a plague. Their motto is basically, we don't know aliens, but we know humans suck. They want destruction.
Good Lord. And the other faction?
They're called the Redemptionists. They're more like a cult. They worship the Trisolarians as gods, and they want to help their lord escape its dying world and find salvation here. Yeah, profound alienation either way.
What could possibly drive people to that point? Hating your own species so much you'd invite aliens to destroy or rule it.
It speaks to a level of despair and misanthropy that's hard to fathom. But the Trisolarians, the main government, they learn about this ETO, and they also learn something else that terrifies them.
What's that?
Earth's rate of technological progress. They calculate that in the 450 years it will take their fleet to arrive, human technology will advance so rapidly that we'll actually be superior to them by the time they get here. We'd swat their fleet like flies.
So they can't just travel here and take over. They need to stop us from advancing first.
Exactly. They need to halt our scientific progress now, remotely, across across 4 light years.
How is that even possible?
This is where it gets really wild. The SOFIN project.
Softens. Okay, what are they?
They take a single proton, and using physics we can barely imagine, they unfold it from its 3 dimensions into 2 dimensions.
Unfold. A proton.
Think of it like turning a tiny point into a vast, incredibly thin sheet. But because it's made from a proton, it contains immense complexity. They make 2 of these 2D protons and etch circuits onto them, using strong interaction forces, turning them into supercomputers. Then they fold them back down to proton size.
So they have proton-sized supercomputers?
4 of them, actually. 2 are sent to Earth, 2 stay on Trisolaris for communication. The ones sent to Earth can unfold again to become vast, invisible structures. Ding Yi explains them as tiny, high-dimensional structures containing huge, low-dimensional structures.
Like the pun in Chinese proton and softens. So what do these softens do here?
They become the ultimate sabotage tool. They can fly into particle accelerators and mess up the results, making fundamental physics research impossible. They can create illusions like making the universe flicker or putting the countdown directly onto Wang Miao's retina. They can eavesdrop on anything. They are designed to completely lock human science for 450 years.
An invisible, undetectable enemy that stops science itself. That's terrifyingly effective.
It's an information blockade and a science stopper, all rolled into one.
So humanity is facing invasion, internal betrayal by the ETO, and now this softened lockdown. What can they even do?
Well, first, they need to deal with the ETO threat, specifically Mike Evans' faction, the Adventists. They have a ship, the Judgment Day, which holds all the communications logs with Trisolaris vital intelligence, but it's heavily defended.
How do they get that information?
This is where Dashi comes back in with another brilliant, if brutal, idea, Operation Gusheng.
Guzheng, like the musical instrument.
Kind of. It involves Wang Miao's nanomaterial research specifically, incredibly strong, incredibly thin filaments called flying blade.
The stuff Shen Yufei told him to stop researching.
The very same. Dashi proposes stringing these filaments almost invisibly across the Panama Canal, right at ship height, just as the Judgment Day is scheduled to pass through.
Oh no. Like a giant slicer?
Exactly. The description is chilling. The ship just sails right through them, and it gets sliced into thin, parallel sections. The source says it spilled on the shore like a stack of plates carried by a stumbling waiter. The cuts are smooth as mirrors.
Horrifyingly effective. But they get the data.
They do. They recover the data storage containing the history of Trisolaris and the ETO's plans. It's a brutal whim, but a necessary one to understand the enemy.
Wow. Okay, so just recapping this whirlwind, we've gone from the trauma of the Cultural Revolution fueling one woman's desperate message
to a modern-day science crisis, a terrifying countdown, and the discovery of an alien civilization facing its own apocalypse.
Then uncovering a conspiracy within humanity, the ETO, who actually want the aliens to come.
And learning about the Trisolarans' ingenious, terrifying plan to halt our progress using softens, unfolded protons acting as supercomputers.
And finally, this incredibly brutal but effective operation using nanotechnology to capture vital intelligence. It's a lot.
It really is. We see the depths of despair, the potential for betrayal within our own species, but also incredible ingenuity and resilience, right? From Ye Wenji's discovery to Wei Cheng's math, Wang Miao's nanomaterials, even Dashi's street smarts.
It shows how alien technology can mess with our science, our perception of reality itself.
But there's that line, isn't there? The Trisolarans might see us as bugs.
But bugs have never been truly defeated. There's a core resilience there.
Definitely. But it forces you to ask some hard questions, doesn't it? About human nature, our capacity for both creation and destruction, our tendency towards despair.
Yeah. And if science, our main tool for understanding the universe, can just be switched off like that, what's left? What parts of humanity are truly worth fighting for? What would we even want to share with aliens if we ever met them on better terms?
It's a profound question. What really stood out to you listening to all this unfold? For me, it's the unsettling idea that maybe our greatest scientific stories, these epic tales of discovery, maybe they're also the scariest ones.
That the pursuit of knowledge could lead us right to the edge of annihilation.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to think about.